Before I even start, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's been supporting comedy, me and everyone, my friends, family, all the chicks that still fuck me, even though I say I'm a stand-up comedian who isn't famous. So they're on the ground floor of fucking someone who isn't famous, just in case they do get famous. And like, yeah, that motherfucker came on my back, and now his balls on that stage. Just them two. Also, to all the girls who did, like, when I was a senior in high school, all the teachers warned you about catching HPV. So to all the chicks who didn't give someone else HPV or anything else in college, this one goes out to y'all also. Just so y'all know. So I'm white, half white. I believe in ghosts, naturally. And I think my house is haunted, but only mildly haunted. Like, maybe this is like the ghost's first week on the job. Like, really weird shit started happening. Shit isn't hitting the walls, like furniture and crap, but like my phone isn't being charged late at night, like for some reason. Someone's been pissing in my condoms. I'm waking up to porn running on a loop, like the same weird porn that I don't remember ever seeing. But it's just like, it's like a 2-minute clip that keeps replaying and waking me up in the middle of the night, but I'm too lazy to deal with it. So I told my friends, and they're like, oh, dude, fucking do what they do in Paranormal, fucking film that shit. So I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm gonna film this shit. So I filmed that shit, and what I realized is that I have a drinking problem because every time when I come home blackout drunk, I try to plug in my phone and give up halfway into it. The door's locked to the bathroom because my roommate's an asshole. So I find a condom that I'm not using because I'm a comedian. I piss into it, and I tie it off like a water balloon, just so it doesn't get all over the place. Set it aside to deal with it in the morning, and then I'm gonna cheer myself up. I'm gonna watch some porn, and then I'm just trying to get into it, but I'm depressed because I'm too drunk to get it hard. So I pass out. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So I feel really embarrassed. So I can't go back and tell my friends what happened. So this ghost is just making me a little bit more interesting and making my drinking problem a little bit easier to deal with, maybe. So let's deal with something that's a little bit more realistic. A chick down the street from me, right after we graduated, gave birth to a child. And then about a month later, threw it into a dumpster. And apparently dumpster babies is a really touchy subject. So let's get into that. Y'all are all shitty people. I'm a shitty person. Let's do this together. So I feel like it's with all of the gay couples, all of the people who can't have their own kids, I feel like it's really lazy to throw a baby away. Like, I feel like she was carrying the baby, looked at the baby, looked at the dumpster. She's like, yeah, that's where that shit goes. And threw the baby in the dumpster. And the baby didn't die. She threw the baby in a dumpster behind a nail salon in an Asian Chinese restaurant. So some dude was about to throw out the trash, and wham! If that was me, $8 an hour, I'm like, I'm not gonna deal with that shit. But they found the baby. Imagine if that baby wasn't never reported. Imagine if that baby was raised by the Asian people that clearly own both of those establishments, and the baby was raised to be this fucking crazy cook, kung fu fighter, nail salon artist. And then he goes and visits that bitch who threw him away in the dumpster, and she doesn't recognize the baby. The baby pulls a fucking old teenager at this point, puts a fucking banana peel on its head and be like, you remember me now, Mom? You fucking bitch. And then beats her ass, cooks for her, and then does her fucking nails. Because that's the kind of shit we need to do to people put you in the fucking dumpster, metaphorically and physically. So obviously, was that the 4-minute or the 5-minute?
No, you did 4.
Sorry. So one thing, I'm single now. One thing I really hated about being in a relationship is when my girl would go out for drinks. And this thing that women do when they get really fucked up, before they go back home with their boys, their manly men, they'll hype each other up. They'll be like, come on, fucking, they'll hype each other up. Go home and make his night a fucking, he's got work in the morning. Fuck his shit up. He didn't let you go out to fucking Rome or wherever, because he works. And then she goes home and like, you're a piece of shit. You say you fucking pull out, but you don't. And I'm gonna stop. Sorry, I'm gonna stop there because I want to tell the second joke. Because I have 30 seconds running. I had this joke about. I had this joke that I told, and I essentially said is I'm the Tom Brady of pulling out. And whenever I said that the next morning after, my friend calls me, he's like, hey, that was funny and all, but what if Tom Brady saw that shit? And he's like, hey man, I don't appreciate you using my name whenever you're referencing coming on someone's back or front or tits or face or whatever. And I'm like, how famous do I have to be for Tom Brady to call me out? And then he said, secondly, that's kind of racist. Why Tom Brady? I'm like, okay, fine. Let's remix this fucking joke so it's not racist. I'm the LeBron James of putting this dick in that fucking ass, slamming that shit in that fucking ass. So I'm going to leave you there on that very aggressive, slightly drunken note. Let's do this. Come on, wake up for the other comedians.